the 6th generation Camaro SS 1LE. As many of you know, I own this car. I've owned this thing for almost a year, and I strongly believe if you're looking for a do-everything track-focused sports car that costs between the high 30s and say like $50,000, you can't do better. I've driven nearly everything, and what I like in a car, at least a sports car at this point, is a special feeling engine. In this car's case, it is a big, naturally aspirated V8, a great feeling gearbox, rear wheel drive, and a very balanced chassis. And that's exactly what this car is, and it's track capable right out of the box. And naturally, because I suffer from the mental illness that many of you guys have, I can't leave anything well enough alone. So I went out and tried to build my perfect track-focused, somewhat daily drivable car. And I wasn't setting out to build the fastest car possible. I was setting out to build a car that would make me laugh. There are faster ways to build a Camaro, and I'm sure there are faster track cars out there for the money, but this was sort of the thing I wanted. I wanted it to make me laugh every single time I drove it. Now, before we walk you through the parts and then drive this thing around Autobahn Country Club South with Britt Casey, I'm gonna say this right off the bat. Huge thanks to URW Automotive, a performance/service shop in Crystal Lake, Illinois. The reason I'm saying that is they helped me build this monstrosity. As many of you may know, it's not the easiest thing to throw a bunch of parts at a car and make it work. Most of these parts were never meant to match together. They weren't designed by the same team. So trying to get all these things to work cohesively is incredibly difficult. It's hard to get them all to fit on a car, and of course, do all of that correctly. And that's honestly something that URW Automotive has done exceptionally well. What about the car? Well, I'm gonna try to break this down into sections, and what I will say is, if you own a 6th gen Camaro SS 1LE, you don't need to do all of this or any of it. You still have a very capable car out of the box. But if you're looking to fiddle, this is how I've done it. Now, let's start with suspension, brakes, and wheels. The wheels are VS5RSs from Apex Wheels. They're 19 by 11 plus 36 offsets. We've been working with Apex for basically all of our series, and we've had Apex wheels on our own cars prior to even being on this channel. The reason for that is they have excellent customer service. They have a wheel replacement program that basically if you damage a wheel on track or in the real world, your next wheel is 50% off. They're reasonably priced, and they're actually genuinely engineered. They third-party validate all these wheels, and they're built with the idea that wheels are consumables, and they have this approach to making sure that they don't cost you $1 billion while also looking decent, being very strong, and very light. One of the reasons why they are the spec wheel for the Mustang Dark Horse Rs. Now, what about the rest of the car? Well, this is on RE71 RS's 305 in 19s, squared all the way around the vehicle. They are very, very sticky tires. As many of you may know, they are now independently confirmed to be the fastest 200 treadwear tire. That did expose, however, the softness of the suspension of the SS 1LE. Of course, when you change one thing, it affects something else. The Camaro was designed, honestly, in the mid-2010s, 2015, 2016, for this 2017 model year. And almost 10 years ago, tires were less sticky. And because the tires are so sticky, they essentially overwhelm the suspension and the differential. So we added some MCS coilovers. MCS is another brand you may be familiar with. They are probably the highest end monotube damper you can throw at a vehicle. They have great service. In this case, it is a kit they developed with Vorschlag engineering, so it's using Vorschlag's camber plates and their spring package. We are currently running their softest spring package because I wanted this car, again, to be something I could drive on the street while not entirely compromising its ability to drive on track. The body control is substantially better than it used to be. We paired that with SPL suspension arms. If you're not familiar, SPL builds camber arms, toe links, various other suspension components. They are a supplier for some actual motorsports programs. They make the highest end suspension links for a vehicle. This car has their toe link and their camber arms, and we moved away from some of their, or the factory rubber bushings to spherical setups, add some more directness to the car. The one link you should do, even if the car's stock, is the toe arms in the back. The toe links on 6th gen Camaros, along with other Alpha platform cars like the CT4 and CT5E Blackwing, are famously weak. Car and Driver broke one of them at their last VIR test. Now, What did we do for brakes? Running their Radical caliper, it pulled some weight out of the front of this car. It has superb cooling. While it's actually technically a little smaller than the factory system, it pulled out some weight and it added a lot more pedal stiffness. The actual caliper design itself is more rigid than the factory caliper, which leads to some more braking confidence. We paired that with CounterSpace Garage's most aggressive brake pad due to how much this thing weighs, and we added some additional cooling in the case of retrofitting some CT5E Blackwing brake ducts for the front control arms for this vehicle. Now, moving to the drivetrain itself, bimodal exhaust in the back, it now has some catted long tube headers, and it was sent to Lingenfelter. If you're not familiar with Lingenfelter, they are an incredibly, honestly, iconic GM performance shop located in Michigan. They've been tuning and building GM engines since before I was born, honestly. And they did their heads and cam package for this vehicle. I specifically asked, against their advice, to build a high-revving LT1. The LT1 was never meant to rev high at 6,500 RPM. In the case of the Camaros, both in the ZL1, which is an LT4 technically, and this is an LT1 because it's an SS, they are wet sump, not dry sump, and they're meant to have a very balanced, do-everything power band. I threw all that away and threw a very aggressive cam at this car, and I did that for two reasons. First, listen to it. Second, high revving, big V8s are hilarious. This thing now makes its power band above 4,500 RPM, which objectively may not be the fastest way to build a Camaro, but sure is fun. And it revs all the way to about 7,000 RPM. On an engine dyno, it makes just over 630 horsepower, and in the car, on a rolling road dyno, it made in the mid 550s, 560s, plenty of power on 93 octane. That did, however, exploit one of the big weaknesses of the Camaro, and that is they run hot. Stock, these cars see 270, 290, 280 oil temps for prolonged driving sessions, which I'm about to talk about. And once we threw the additional 125 horsepower this car is making at it, it immediately was throwing like 300, 305 oil temps, which is not a good number to be seeing. And that brings us into our oil sponsor for this build, Amsoil. Amsoil has partnered with us on this video along with a couple other videos you'll be seeing in the future. They are a very enthusiast-focused oil company. You're probably familiar with them. They're the direct fill for all Lingenfelter belt engines. And if you're going to honestly track your car, you like your vehicle, the cheapest insurance you can possibly use is good oil, which is exactly what Amsoil is. And we have an upcoming video where we sit down with one of their engineers and walk you through the fine print of oil, how it thins out, what kills oil, why you need to change it frequently, various types of oil and additives that exist. They are an enthusiast-led company. They want to teach you guys this stuff, and that's what we're going to try to do here very, very soon. Now, the best modification, however, you can make to any 6th-gen Camaro is the next thing I'm going to talk about, and that is proper cooling. We have a PWR heat exchanger on this vehicle with improved racing's line and oil filter housing and sandwich plate. They are a combo that you definitely are going to need and want to do, because that combo dropped the oil temps of this car with a thermostatic plate by like 50 Fahrenheit on track. It is the best insurance you can make for these vehicles. LT1s and LT4s, while they are great engines, as these cars start to become older and there are more and more of them, outside of some of the QC issues, people have been starting to pop them and blow them up. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the oil temps these cars see when they are being tracked or driven hard are honestly just too high. So using a real heat exchanger to bring down oil temps goes a long way in protecting your engine. Yes, using a high-grade synthetic oil is important, but also keeping the temps down low. As you're going to hear in this upcoming Amsoil video, the three things that kill oil quick are high heat, aeration, which comes with revving an engine high, and prolonged intervals. Those three combos, which you're probably going to be doing in your factory street car that you're also tracking, are why I think these engines pop. That combo. So running a PWR heat exchanger, and PWR, if you're not familiar, is originally an Australian heat exchanger company. They build probably the highest end heat exchangers that exist, both radiators and oil coolers. That's why they're the factory components or supplier for cars like the Mustang GTD. They supply race cars, Formula One vehicles. Look at what they have as well. That combo has made this car a lot easier to track. Now when you're on track, you maybe, after a prolonged session, see 250 for oil temp, which is a godsend. So with that, let's head to Autobahn Country Club, where Britt and I are gonna go lap this thing. All right, Britt, we're in the Jack Camaro. Now with cooling, brakes, and MCSs. And this car is slowly coming up to temp, and I'm gonna bring this up first, Britt, as you nervously sit in the passenger seat. You should be the one driving, not me, because basically in 2 sessions, without adjusting the MCSs further, you ran a 130 and change, which in a big Camaro is pretty damn fast. We're talking like 9-11 times.
Yeah.
How does this car drive differently than it used to, before we get into sort of my vision of what the Camaro is now?
Well, I think it definitely still is the fun factor. Totally has that, and it's more of the same. I think we got rid of some of the laziness in the car. It's more sharp. The braking is sharper on the brakes. Yeah.
The pedal stiffness is tremendous.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, the stiffness is better, which means you get better feel. Kind of as the G-forces load up in the brake zone, the pedal stiffness doesn't fade on you. It was a little bit of ice mode for one of the corners, but I think you can get around that. I don't really know what that was from, to be honest. I think maybe the ride height in the front is a little bit too high right now, but the beauty of it is you can adjust that. So.
Yes. Let's be clear, I have done minimal adjustments. So far, I've deployed you like a pice of equipment. I'm like, Britt, go fast.
Yeah.
And then I adjust nothing, and I send you out. And to be fair, you accomplished that task very well, Britt.
Yep. I know, this car is great. You can take to it really well. It's got the mechanical feel in the steering, mechanical feel in the brakes. It's very well balanced. You can use the throttle to rotate through.
Which is one of the best parts about this car. Look, I'm sure if we added torque, this car would be even faster, but the fact that I just made this thing to have a good time, I think that's what this car accomplishes very well. And dynamically, with this set of MCSs and the Vorschlag spring rates that this car has, it's definitely something you drive off the rear.
Definitely, yeah.
Which I think is a fair statement.
But it's not like intimidating off the rear. It's still really balanced. I think just the Camaros in general, they're longer cars, you know, pretty heavy. They're fun. Not as good slip this time.
Yeah, this time I'm like, there are cars behind me. If I spin out and I kill Britt, that might be a problem.
I'm gonna take a GR86 to the door.
Last time we talked about this, you said you noticed the diff wasn't really putting down power. Do you think with the higher spring rates and just the better wheel control these MCSs have, that it sort of changed that for you, or were you still noticing diff issues?
So this corner right here, turn 6, medium speed, and then it kind of kicks on a bump right there.
Yep.
That's where I was getting wheel spin before. The symptom I was trying to describe felt like the diff had less lock than what it needed, but it was actually shock related. I couldn't say if it was spring related, but it was the shock package that was creating the wheel spin off. Yeah, you're so good at that. I do not drift. I can't.
But it fixed that problem, right?
It did, yeah. So right there, yeah, that's a good example of it. It used to like pick up the inside rear and just spin it. Now with the different shocks, it actually locks up and spins both.
Well, that's what you're looking for. Hopefully I didn't just get black flag. We'll find out.
Oh, I think you're fine.
No, I think we're good. All right. Autobahn, thank you. Yeah, man, I mean,
fine.
You've driven a lot of cars with me, Britt. What to you makes a car fun? I guess that's one of the questions I want to ask someone who can actually drive, unlike me. What is fun when it comes to driving?
I think about that a lot too, and I think it's car to car, but engine is one thing, exhaust, being able to do things like this confidently, just not having to guess on like where the car is at in the angle of a corner, or on the limit of the tire. If
Yeah,
it's
and just the theater, right?
yeah, the car is speaking back to you. That's what you're looking for. You know, all these new computer inputs that are, I just think they override the joy factor of racing cars or driving cars in general on the track, even on the street. You know,
Because at the end of the day, these aren't race cars, right? You're driving them to have a good time. You're doing something stupid, which is driving around in a circle, and not a race car. We're not going to wheel to wheel.
Yep.
What matters is you're laughing.
Yeah, and it's fun. Like smiles for days. And it takes a lot of money to do stuff like this, obviously, for the enthusiasts out there.
So you might as well be having a good time while you do it.
100%.
All right, Britt. So with that, and the fact that because of the PWR cooler, it is still actually cool.
True, yeah.
I am very happy that I can run more than 3 laps before I overheat this car. Let's wrap up this video, sir.
Thank you.
V8 motor. Final thoughts on my Camaro build series. First off, huge thanks to our title sponsor, Bridgestone tires. Without them, videos like this would not be possible. Also thanks to our home away from home, Autobahn Country Club, a racetrack in Joliet, Illinois. If you're looking to learn from drivers like Britt, attend one of their performance driving programs or their coaching programs, if you want to do a track day, look at their schedule. If you want to become a member and access their track whenever you want, or join their karting program, please hit them up as well. And they also host corporate events and do track day rentals as well. And thanks to Amsoil. Amsoil has partnered with us on this series along with a couple others to come. If you're looking for oil for your own vehicle or other vehicle lubricants, please take a look at their various offerings. They're an oil company run by engineers and actual car enthusiasts. They live and breathe this stuff, and they have a very, very helpful website. And when you actually communicate with them, you talk to a real person. The website is a tool that allows you to see what fluids you need for your specific model year of vehicle. They try to make this as idiot-proof as possible, and they make it easy for you. So if you do your own service, or if you want to take their fluids to whatever dealer you use to get your vehicle serviced that way, they've essentially made it idiot-proof. And also thanks to URW Automotive, a shop we've been working with for years at this point. If you're looking for work done on your own car, please hit them up. They are very, very good at what they do. Now, what about the car itself with all that out of the way? Well, objectively, I made this car a hell of a lot faster than it used to be. With Britt driving, it ran a 130.36, which is faster than a brand new 992.2 911 GTS. It's faster than a C8 Stingray with Z51 package, an M2, a new Dark Horse, lots and lots of cars. But I didn't build this car purely to be fast, right? I built this to make me laugh, and I'm sure when we dial in the suspension further, if I change the torque curve of the car, yada, 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 I could have made a faster vehicle. But what this car is now is fun, charming, and it just makes you laugh, which is exactly what I want in a sports car now. Now, when it comes to all the parts and modifications, I think, candidly, if you own a regular Camaro SS 6th Gen 1LE or ZL1 or a regular Camaro SS, the thing that you probably most importantly need to do if you're going to track this car is get a oil cooler from PWR and use the improved racing lines and sandwich plate. It drops the oil temp 40, 50 degrees, which is going to save your engine. The stock car runs really, really, really warm. Now, when you move past that, you should do brake pads, right? At a bare minimum, brake pads, brake lines. We've been using CounterSpace garage pads. We love them. High pedal confidence, low fade. They know what they're doing. Now, once you start moving past that, wheels and tires are an easy thing to do. We've been running Apex for a very, very long time. They have lots of various offerings. And the tires, of course, Bridgestone RE71 RSs. However, when you throw a very, very sticky tire at this car, this is the conversation we've had in the past on other vehicles. Once you start adjusting the level of grip, you start to notice some of the shortcomings of the car. You'll very quickly realize that really sticky tires overwhelm the suspension of the car, even when you throw a lot of camber at it. That's where the SPL arms, the MCS coilovers by Vorschlag, and of course, the Essex AP brakes come in. That package cohesively leads to a much quicker car that has more driver confidence, more importantly, and at least on the brake side, a lot more pedal confidence. This car is very quick now. Honestly, the regular Camaro is very quick, and if you have a ZL1, that's even faster. Having a very rigid pedal with essentially no fade makes you have confidence in your vehicle, which is really what it's all about. Now, I promise in the future you'll see this car probably more. We plan on doing something with the Topher, who also owns a 6th gen Camaro SS 1LE. I do want to see, for my own selfish benefit, how my Frankenstein Camaro competes with something like a stock ZL1 1LE. So with that, thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon.